everyone, I'm Amelia from xameliax, and I'm here with Jared Bailey, the Benefit Global Brow Expert, to answer your burning brow questions. Let's get started. We've had loads of questions come in from social media. So the first one is, what makes Benefit so good at doing brows?
Oh God, that's a really good question, and I'm going to tell you, it's not that Benefit invented the brow wax, but we definitely reinvented the brow wax. Right. Yeah, so I think one of the first things that we do is there's no like stencil or cookie cutter shape or style that we go with when it comes to brows. It's all about you and you. So we do a process that's called brow mapping, where we find 3 key portions to any brow, and that really helps us to customize the shape to make sure that it's really accentuating your face and it's not just one of those stamps or stencils. The other thing that I think that Benefit does really well when it comes to brow shaping is what we've done, and we did this back in the 70s really when we started waxing brows for the first time, is that we do brows sitting up. So I know traditionally a lot of people lie down, and I don't know if you've ever taken a selfie of yourself actually lying in bed, and don't tell us if you have, but your face starts to change. Gravity, it exists. So what we do is we sit up, and now we're shaping the brows proportionate to the way your face normally is, unless you spend a lot of time on your back. So what we do, it is quite different than most places that you'll go have your brows shaped. Yeah.
I must admit, I had mine done and I was absolutely amazed. And you can just tell that it's a completely different process to everywhere else.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, no matter where you're at in the world, we have one of the world's largest education programs for our browticians around the world. And even if they go to school or they're learning the trade, however they learn it, when they come to us, we teach them our way of doing it. And it's really what's best for you.
So what is the benefit of a brow tint?
A brow tint, it's like waking up with makeup. I mean, if you think about it, every brow is filled with that like fine vellus hair. So think about like that peach fuzz that you have on your skin. So if you want to wake up and have naturally full looking brows, going to a Benefit brow bar and having your brows tinted, they customize the color for you. And then that custom color actually adheres to that fine vellus hair, and it actually makes the brow appear fuller. And in some cases, when you're measuring out the brows, if you need a little bit more length to the brow or something like that, it'll actually extend the look of the brow as well. So it helps to really block out the different proportions of your face. Yeah.
Fab.
Have you tried that before?
Yeah, I had it done with the wax and the tint, and it was amazing. I had it done just before I went on holiday, actually.
So
it was
perfect, yeah.
Because then you don't have it sliding down your face in the pool.
Totally. I tell people it's like the perfect, it is like beach bikini makeup, for sure.
Okay, so we've got a question from Twitter. What is the best brow product for grey brows?
Okay, so this is really a tricky question, like best product for gray brows. A lot of times what you're gonna find when it comes to having like gray hair, you'll notice that it's a bit wiry and sometimes kind of coarse. So you need something that not only is gonna help tint it, but also add shape to it. So for gray hair, I would suggest using a product like Gimme Brow, because what's in here, this is actually, it's a tinted fiber gel. So not only is it gonna thicken up your brows, it also will wrap around each individual hair and add a tinted color to it. And it helps to kind of blend that gray back in naturally, but the gel formula keeps those wiry hairs like at bay. It makes, I tell people all the time, it's like, makes the most unruly types of hair behave.
Yes, it tames it down a little bit.
Yeah, and this comes in 2 shades. It comes in a light medium and a medium deep. And I think that most women and men who will find that for gray hair, it's not often always fully gray. So it's best to err on the side of medium deep when it comes to gray hair to really make it look a bit more natural.
So obviously with the Benefit technique, an arch is everything. So why is an arch so important on a brow?
If you think about it, brow shaping is the #1 thing that anybody can do to really open up the eye and just like lift their overall look. So finding that perfect arch is always like the second step in a Benefit brow mapping process, and it's key to really open up the eye and give it maximum height. So if you want to look like you had an instant eye lift, finding that arch is the thing to do.
So one of mine is actually really quite nicely arched on one side, but the other one sits a little bit flat. So what can I do with that?
So this is the thing, like that happens. We always say eyebrows are like sisters. They're not twins.
twins.
Yeah, so they're not ever going to be just alike, but you can fake it. So when you want to do that, you have to use a product like Browsings. Now this is,
I use it every day.
You're like my soul sister. I have it in today. So what you do here, because there's a wax and there's a powder, what you would do to kind of cheat that arched look is that you would dip the hard angle brush into the wax and then into the powder. And just along, I'm going to use your face because it's here. So, and I'll use your good brow because it's facing. What you want to do is just right above that hairline. What we would do is we would fill in and we would make a straighter line along that top. And then, because the hard angle brush is cut, what we would do is we would then re-dip into the wax and the powder, and then we would turn the brush and we would angle down. So if you're going to cheat the arch and you want it to be more exaggerated or to match the other one that's naturally arched, then you want to fill in with Browsings on top of the brow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just slightly. Yep, makes sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Because you can, like, you don't want to like fight Mother Nature too hard, but you can cheat it a bit.
Okay, now this one actually came through from a number of people, said that their eyebrows are really, really thin.
Yeah.
What's the best product to use or the best way to help them grow and thicken up again if you've maybe overplucked them or if they're just naturally quite sparse?
Sure. So with brows that are naturally kind of skimpy, there's a couple things that you can do. Now, number one, I think that you need something for structure, right? Because you want to make sure the shape is there. So you need to go through the brow mapping process to really identify those three key portions. You need to find the right start, you need to find the right arch, and you need to find the right end. So once you do that, you're going to go in with a product like Browsings or even the Instant Brow Pencil, which is like a pomade pencil that'll help shape the brow. And you're going to go in and you're going to start to design the structure of the brow. So you're just going to connect all three of those points. But then what happens, and you see this in a lot of people's looks out there, if you just fill it in with one on more of a sparse or skimpy brow, you get a pretty flat looking brow.
It's like a little block.
Yeah, it is. It's blocked and it's one-dimensional because it's just drawn onto the skin. So to really fake the rest of that look, it's key to go in with something like Gimme Brow. This adds volume and texture to make it really look like it's a 3D effect.
Yeah.
So after you've filled it in, now you're going to go in with Gimme Brow and you're really just going to kind of comb over that shape. It'll loosen up any excess product from Browsings or Instant Brow, but then these little tiny microfibers are actually going to bring that brow to life.
So somebody on Twitter actually mentioned that they have alopecia, so they really struggle. How do you go about filling in a brow or creating a brow when there really isn't a lot there without it looking too drawn on?
Totally, and that happens. I mean, it's a pretty common disorder for people with their brows is alopecia. So I think one of the things that you want to do is really focus on brow mapping. And I'm going to kind of walk you through it, and I'm going to show you guys so you can see. And for you at home who tweeted this question, what you want to do is you want to identify the three key portions to the brow. So I'm going to point them out. The first one that you want to do is you want to look for the start. So look for where your brow should start. And you can take a pencil or a product like Browsings with a hard angle brush, and you really use that to mark out the 3 points. But what you would do is you would go straight from that dimple of the nose, and you would point right to where that brow should start. Okay, so if you have no hair there, that's where you should make a little mark because that's where you're gonna know my brow should start here. What that's gonna do is help to create more of like a slimming effect on the nose. It's almost like contouring.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to, like a slimmer nose, the brows should be closer together. If you want a wider nose, move them further apart.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
But nobody asked me for a wider nose ever. Yeah, I don't know. So the second point is going to be the arch. And remember, we were talking about the arch earlier. This is where it really opens up the eye. So if you don't have an arch because you're lacking the hair, what you want to do is you want to measure from that outer portion of the nose across the center of the iris. And you can see right there, that's where your brow should arch. Yours is right on point. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. But if you have no arch there, make a little dot. And then you're going to move on to step 3. Now, step 3 is the end. And a lot of people think that brows just end where they end. But I am here to tell you that is not true. Here's where they end. They measure straight from the outer portion of the nose, across the corner of that eye, and right there it touches where your brow should end. And again, sister, you did it. Well, you're in a brow talk. I would expect nothing less from you. Yeah,
perfection.
exactly. So what you want to do now, you have those 3 points. So what you want to do is you want to take your brow filler and you actually want to start to make small hair-like strokes throughout the brow.
Okay.
So when you go in to connect the points, you want to start making just small little strokes throughout the brow. Your brow's already thinned in, but I'm still mimicking these little strokes. So you go through all the way from that start to the arch, and then that arch to the end. Now, I know what you're thinking already. It's gonna look a little fake, a little drawn on, but remember, and you know this, makeup is about blending. So are your eyebrows. When you're filling in a brow, you wanna blend that to look natural too. So what you're gonna do is you'll take a little brow comb, and this one already has a little spoolie tool attached. So what you wanna do is you wanna start removing a little bit of that harshness from the front. You're gonna carry it through, and here between halfway through the start to the arch, you're gonna leave a bit dense, because that's naturally what a thick, full brow would look like. It's a bit lighter in the front, a bit more dense to the center, and then again towards the end, we'll start combing some of that excess product through to keep it light again. It's almost like an ombre effect, but it's not an ombre brow.
So thank you very much, Jared, for answering our questions. Hopefully that's helped out a load of you guys out of there. It's been really exciting to be in Bennett Towers today.
Right? This was super fun. Thanks for coming
in. Well, thank you. We're going to leave all my links down below, so if you want to check out my blog or my YouTube channel, you'll find them down there. But thank you very much, Jared. It's been great.
This was fun.
Yeah.